Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Nation newspaper. The major story here says, Ibadan attack. Police launch manhunt for Abiola's widow. Other backers of violent agitators on security radar. Suspects to be charged with treason, terrorism. And another story here. Another power grid collapse paralyzes businesses, other activities. At the top corner, Tinubu writes on Chibok girls, says kidnapping must end. How to stem inflation by experts, rate rises to 33.20%. APC suspends Ganduje's World Exco for 6 months. Some of the stories you find on the front page of the Nation newspaper. To the Nigerian News Direct. The major story here says Nigerians' economy will be liberated. That's the president speaking. Says no more payments of ransom to kidnappers as economic policies beginning to yield positive results. We must root out the scourge of kidnapping. Pastor Enenche apologizes, insists he had no intention to embarrass church member. Lagos police confirm arrest of soldier for allegedly stabbing motorcyclist. And Nigeria's inflation hits 33.20%. Some of the stories you find on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. To the Daily Independent now. Defend Tinubu or quit. Matawale tells northern appointees. As a Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawale had spoken about the importance of northern appointees supporting the president. NSA receives 22 rescued Zamfara Varsity students, staff, and the arrest 15,901 suspects, secures 9,034 convictions in 38 months. Invasion of Oyo Government Secretariat. Yoruba Nation agitators name sponsors, justify action, police parade teacher, 1 female, 19 other suspects, recover guns, flags, cutlasses, others. All right, some stories you find on the front page of the Daily Independent. Still talking about this story. Matawale to northern appointees, defend Tinubu administration against vicious attacks or quit. Minister of State for Defense, Bello Muhammad Matawale, is charging appointees of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu from the north to defend and shield the administration from undue criticism from the region or resign. And the writer to the story is that this is no time to keep quiet over intimidations, misrepresentations. Northern groups dissociate self from Northern Elders Forum. 10 years since Chibok, Nigeria will no longer pay the price by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And another story here, Kano APC voids Ganduje's suspension sanctions word officials. Kwankwaso behind APC National Chair's purported suspension, a group is saying. Electricity consumers want federal government to license more discos. NDLEA arrests 51,000 drug offenders in 3 years, convicts 9,000. Those are some of the stories you find on the front page of the Blueprint. And to the First News newspaper, Ganduje survives Kano APC ward's coup. And the writers there say, as state party exco nullifies action, swoops on masterminds, sanctions them. Ganduje's ward excos debunk ex-governor suspension, blames NNPP as group alleges Kwankwaso's boys behind APC chairman's suspension. And the picture there is the parade of the over 20 persons who are said to be Odua Nation agitators arrested on Saturday over the invasion of the state secretariat in Ibadan, Oyo State there. Now, many Nigerians unaware Tinubu now paying more for fuel subsidy. The former governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai, is saying, says, I don't want to be anyone's godfather. And those are some of the stories you find on the front page of the First News newspaper. We move now to the Leadership newspaper. Plot to remove Ganduje Damagum thickens. North Central intensifies lobby for chairman position in APC PDP. Drama in Kanu over Ganduje's suspension. Wike camp split ahead of PDP. NEC state chairman vow to resist any move outside party's constitution. Now, another story here. Inflation defies stronger naira, hits 33.2% on higher commodity prices. And Oromoni died of natural causes, parental negligence, Corona has said. A really sad one there. Now, at the corner here, you find the story, Israel weighs options to retaliate after Iran attack. Some stories you find on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. To this Nigerian newspaper now, drama over Ganduje as Kanu APC ward suspends him. SWC nullifies action. Ex-Kanu governor, wife, others to appear in court tomorrow over bribery allegations. NDLEA secures conviction of over 9,000 drug offenders, arrests 51,000 in 3 years. Invasion of Oyo Assembly by Yoruba Nation agitators, treasonable. PDP chieftain Bode George says perpetrators must be brought to book. Makinde commends security agencies for flushing out the intruders. Some stories you find on the front page of this Nigeria. And finally, with me, the New Telegraph. Ganduje's purported suspension, we were impersonated. 27 ward chairs say as Kanu APC counters sacks them all. One, they'll take legal action against imposters. NNPP, Ganduje's suspension welcomed if. And Shetima Yako Gaydam thwarted Chibok girls rescue. Clark alleges, says mass abduction politically motivated. Over 1,700 children abducted in 10 years, Amnesty International report. And record 17 school mass abduction in 6 years, says 20 released Chibok girls forced to marry ex-Boko Haram fighters. Some stories you find on the front page of the New Telegraph. Ibrahim.
The Daily Times is the first. Federal government now paying more money on petrol subsidy than before. RFI asks President to drop appointees who fail to deliver. How federal government rescued over 1,000 abductees without ransom. This according to National Security Advisor. Says the successful rescue operations were testimonies to efforts of government to free all held in captivity. Judge threatens to strike out trial of alleged 4 terrorists who kidnapped, killed Imo monarch. Sylvester Romani's death avoidable. Lagos Corona. And then on the bottom strip, Nigeria's inflation soars by 33.2% in March. Above the masthead, Nigeria will lead Africa in developing, regulating AI globally, as according to the federal government. Salient Times is next. RFI, federal government now paying more fuel subsidy, but many Nigerians don't know. Yoruba Nation agitators committed treason by invading Oyo Assembly, Bode George. How my son was killed by vigilante group, Bauchi district head. Matawale tells Baba Ahmed other appointees to defend Tinubu or quit. Sylvester Romani, Corona clears Darwin College, indicts parents, doctors. Falana faults Corona's ruling. Nigeria's inflation rate hits 33.20% despite Naira rebound. Soldier kills girlfriend, dumps body inside barrack. EFCC arraigns man, daughter-in-law for alleged forgery in Lagos. BSA law testimony. I have moved on, no ill feelings, says Veronica after meeting Eneche. Man killed 70-year-old mother, alleges strange voice influenced him. Next is Daily Trust. 4 ex-governors, 21 other senators sponsor no bill in 10 months. They should wake up, analysts. APC fingers, Kano government in Ganduje's suspension. We have nothing to do with it. Government, National Secretariat, mum. Fuel subsidy back, federal government paying more. That's according to RFI. Next is Platform Times. NDLEA eradicates 1,057 hectares of cannabis farms. Arrests 50,901 suspects in 3 years. Southwest Reps Caucus condemns Yoruba Nation agitators, demands settlements of grievances. Pastor Ashimolowo raises the alarm over mounting poverty crisis in Nigeria. Husband laments police inability to rescue wife, despite paying 5 million naira ransom to kidnappers in Ogun. Sahel nations unite with 100 million euros to strengthen agricultural resilience. Oyo parade 21 suspected Yoruba nation agitators. Next is the Punch newspaper. Vandalism worsens grid collapses as gas shortage slashes power supply. Dangote modular refineries to pay naira for crude. Naira nears 1,000 to the dollar at parallel market. Next is the Vanguard newspaper. More pressures on pockets as food inflation rises to 40%. Oyo invasion. Yoruba nation sponsors promise to end my hunger. Female suspect. Naira grows oil reserves to 37.5 billion barrels. Illegal traffic enforcement. Miscreants take over Lagos roads. Why electricity power system collapsed fourth time in 2024. Next is the Guardian newspaper. Households groan over food prices as inflation defies interventions. Southwest leaders fought Oyo invasion as police parade 21 suspects. BCDC orders soldiers to leave Bokos as death toll hits 30. Bakers bags live jail for defiling neighbor's daughter. Next is Business Day newspaper. Stronger naira fails to put food on tables. Power sector troubled as grid collapses 9 times under Tinubu. Economic analysis, a call for productivity reform. And last but not least is the Nation Sporting Live. CIES reports Boniface better finisher than Haaland Nunes. And also Chelsea preparing £51.3 million bid for Cup Minas. Also, club admits Liverpool will never be champions if Fury outlines plans for next 10 fights, including 2 against Anthony Joshua. Ruben Amorim laughs off Liverpool rumours. That's about it for the newspapers up for review this morning.
Right. I believe that our viewers have been updated and would go for any of the papers of their choice. All right, we'll move quickly now. Coming up on TVC Breakfast, federal government leaders of the G7 countries have called